You look amazing, and I know
Thank you, man.
you've competed as well. And for those who don't know what competing is, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so obviously, competing obviously in bodybuilding shows. I've done fitness model in the past. I've done fitness model shows. So it's obviously something that I've always wanted to do. So, even when I first got into the fitness industry, I had it in the back of my mind that one day I am going to compete. And I've always been quite strict with training and stuff like that. But I wanted to take my physique to another level. And I knew to take my body to another level, I needed to make some investment. So obviously I had to invest in a coach. I've got a coach, Jace. I've been with him for over 4 years. And, when you're on this journey with these people, it becomes, he's more than a coach to me. He's like a big brother. He helps me out in life. Even when I've gone through hard times, he's always there, checking if I'm all right. So I invested in a coach. I've been with him, like I said, for 4 years. And he helped me change my physique, like massively. He gave me a lot more knowledge. I learned a lot from him. And even when I first got with him, he said to me, "What's the goal?" And I said to him, "You know what, Jace? I want to compete." And he goes, "Okay, cool." He goes, "So that's the goal." I'm like, "Yeah." So obviously I stuck with him first year, done everything he told me to do. And then obviously one day I woke up and I was like, "You know what? I think I'm ready. I want to compete." And I texted him and I said, "Jace, I'm ready to compete, And he goes, "Nah." He goes, "Nah." He goes, "You're not ready." And I was like, wow. But I loved it because he was honest with me. He goes to me, "I don't want you to go on stage for the sake of being on stage." He goes, "If we go on stage, I want you to go looking like the best Hash you've ever been and win that show." And touch wood, every show I've done with him, I placed first. I did a PCA, which I placed second. I got invited to the British finals. I've did 2 bros with him, about 2 or 3 of them where I come first. I've done Miami Pro. So I've done a lot of shows with him. And like I said, every single show I've done, I've come first and second. And like I said, it's been a massive experience. It's taught me a lot about myself, about having a strong mindset. So yeah, anyone who wants to compete, I'll definitely say best thing to do is invest in a coach and obviously, just have a strong mindset, because there's going to be times when you're on that journey, you're going to have ups and downs. There's going to be times when you're too tired, you feel a bit crampy, you feel like you're snapping at people because obviously, your nutrition's gone low, like your calorie intake's gone low. But again, it's having a strong mindset. And I think having good people around you play a massive part in it. And listening to stuff like podcasts, motivational speakers. Because I remember when I used to get up at, say, 4 a.m. in the morning, I used to get to the gym at 5 a.m. and I used to do an hour on a Stairmaster. And I used to be on there, even 10 minutes in, I used to clock watch. I was like, "Oh my God, I still got another 50 minutes. How am I going to get through this?" Then I'll put my AirPods in, watch something motivational, listen to these speakers, and they will motivate me. And then it was slowly lighting that fire back in my stomach. So they're the stuff that I'll definitely recommend for people.
How hard is it to compete?
I'll be honest with you, from my experience, I can't obviously talk from other people's experience. I could only go by mine. It's not easy. Yeah, it's not for everyone, because again, it's not like you're living a healthy, active lifestyle, like just eating good food and stuff like that. You've got to really, really graft. There's no, "Oh, I'm not going to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow." There's no such thing like that. You got to make sure your meals are 10-10 on point. You got to make sure you're doing your cardio. You got to make sure you're training. You got to make sure when you're going to the gym, you're training you're giving everything. You're leaving the gym with nothing in your tank. And my coach always says to me, "Listen, when you go to the gym, yes, there's going to be days when you can't give 100%, but you give whatever you've got on that day. If it means that, you're going to throw up, then you know what, you throw up and you carry on. There's no obligations. That is the goal. You wanted to do it. You wanted to put yourself through it. He's just the guidance that's going to help me, obviously, to reach that goal."
And what about the science behind it? So, you learn something new every single competition. Before you're going to go on stage in that morning, there's some people laying on the floor with their legs up to get that blood flow in them. There's some people having jam, some people having peanut butter, some people, there's all these different things that are going on. when I competed, I was told to have a Zinger Tower burger because of the salt content, sodium to fill up before I quickly go, in the next couple of hours on stage. Because make sure you have that down so you're exploding. And I just couldn't understand it. Do you know what I mean?
There's definitely a lot of science what go behind it, 100%. And I think a lot of coaches out there, they do things differently. When I was competing, and obviously, when before you compete, they do like a little intro of what's going to happen in the day and stuff like that. And obviously, you're sitting next to obviously other people who are competing with you, and you're seeing some of them got some meals, some of them got rice cakes and jam, some of them got chicken and peanut butter or chicken and jam, some of them are having a shot of vodka.
Oh, yeah.
So there's loads of different ways of doing it. I remember when I competed, I had rice cakes, jam, I had peanut butter. And I'll be honest with you, on that day, just anything you have just tastes unbelievable because like you've got like crazy cravings happening on that day. But yeah, everyone's different. And I think, yeah, there is a lot of science what goes behind it. But I think it all depends on people's experience, like as coaches and stuff like that. Because like I said, when I was competing, my coach had a different method. And when I was looking at everyone else around the room, you can see every coach had a different method of getting them ready for that stage.
What works for you then? Because you must have tried a few different things before getting on stage. Like, what makes you pump out more or get you veiny? Or
For me, I've always been very veiny. Like even when I used to play football, even before I started, going into the gym, like before the fitness industry, I always had like veins because I used to play like football as a kid. I was just always really quite toned, but I was very, very slim. On the day when I was competing to get me filled out and stuff like that, because I've got quite a fast metabolism as well. So I remember I think it was about, my coach got me to take, I think it was like 4 very small meals, like maybe something like 80 to 90 grams of rice, maybe something like 100 grams of chicken. They were like really small portions of meals. And obviously he said to me like add obviously jam into it as well. And I'll never forget, I had like 4 meals like that. Again, I had rice cakes and jam. And obviously before I went on stage, it was like maybe 5 to 10 minutes before I went on stage, I had rice cakes, I had jam again, I had like a Lucozade Sport, just obviously get the sugar in as well. And then obviously I was backstage, obviously getting a pump, doing certain workouts, like just a bit of biceps, a bit of side raises, some back rows, just to kind of get the physique more pumped, to step on stage.